Hi everyone, it's Joey Remini here from seekingbalance.com.au. I have a really great question, and the question is from someone with tinnitus and hyperacusis, which is a sensitivity to soft, low-level sounds. And the question is, why do my tinnitus and sound sensitivity symptoms build up in intensity during the day? And how come external sounds and electromagnetic EMF exposure aggravate things? So the question is around the nervous system and trauma, volatility, instability, what's going on. So the way I would explain this is your beautiful brain and body are processing trillions of synaptic connections. You're processing information from the outer world. The obvious stuff is the stuff we can see, hear, and touch, right? You're processing people, you're processing emotions, you're processing visual patterns, you're processing movement, you're processing orientation and location. You're processing smells. You're processing temperature shifts, touch, all of it. And there does come times in our cycles, which can be times in life, so such as adolescent times, pregnancy times, menopausal times, and for men, high stress times even. So there can be times in our life where we just have less bandwidth, right? We benefit from reducing that stimulation input, and it's just simply too much for our brain and body to meaningfully categorize, integrate, make sense of, and interpret. So it's a little bit like, just if you think about being really tired and kind of forcing yourself to go to a party with loud noises, people, information, bright lights everywhere, and just on every level, you're sort of like, oh my God, I just want to go to bed. This is not enjoyable. It's not fun. I can barely follow a conversation. So that's a very kind of gross, robust example. What's happening subtly for people who are experiencing this kind of the intensity waxing and waning of tinnitus and hyperacusis, that after a good night's sleep, and if you have a beautiful familiar home, a lot of people will describe their home as a sanctuary, that in the morning you're well rested, you've got your familiarity, you've got your rituals, but then as you go through the day, you're meeting more people, you're in more unfamiliar environments, you're having to move at other people's rhythm and work at agendas and turn up on time. And there's a lot of pressure and stimulation and expectation being put onto the body. You're not in your natural, relaxed flow. And so towards the end of the day, we can sort of be in stimulation overwhelm or overload to the point that even lighting very much affects us. And we may find we just want to be outdoors in natural lighting, away from crowds, away from people. Um, I know for me, because this everyone's different, right? But my particular neural wiring is high sensitive to all the eight senses. So when I get time to myself, no kids, I can clear my calendar. I am not joking you. I will go into my office, close the blinds so that the room is dark, and I will sit on my sheep rug floor, light a candle, and just sit in my own quiet company with very minimal stimulation. Because to me, that feels nourishing. But, one of my closest friends loves to get out and about, right? And so for her, that sensory the minimizing sensory inputs for her could be very agitating, should become more irritable because her body is seeking music and people and smells and conversations, and that's where her rhythm is. That's where she's buzzing and she's alive and she's relaxed. So different people have different sensory needs and different neural processing styles. So I'm wondering for you asking this question if it's simply becoming aware that it's quote unquote normal for you to build up your fullness throughout the day. So by the end of the day, there is that sensory fatigue. So you can factor that in. You can also have more pit stops and try and honor your own rhythm as much as you can. Body scanning throughout the day, closing your eyes and resting. That really helps to rest the neural loading. If you work in a workplace with fluorescent lighting, whether or not you wear a cap or you ask your bosses and employees if there's any way to have more natural lighting, those kind of things. Um, And then, yes, if you've noticed a sort of a sensitivity to EMF, just do what you can to sleep with your Wi-Fi off, keep your phone away from you, limit your screen time, because it's not that it's killing you or bad for you, it's that you need to moderate it, pace it, and really, really honor if you need to take time away, go out into nature, create a routine that really deeply nourishes your sensory style. So I hope that answered your question. And another way of visually describing it is that, and we're all different too. So don't feel as though you're abnormal or wrong for feeling what you feel. If you're a high sensitive creature like I am, I have to nourish and nurture my nervous system because it's a deep gift, right? I have a lot of intuition and I can pick up a lot of subtle information. But the flip side is I can be overloaded and overwhelmed if I don't care for myself. So we need to have strategies to use our gifts and our sensitivities in a nourishing way, to be in relationship with our body, to honor our body, not to force ourselves to keep up with others or do life like they do life, or, we have to be unique. We have to honor the way we're born. But yeah, a visual is if you just think about a bucket. And if we say that every human being just has a bucket of capacity, and the minute that bucket gets filled up with agendas and, things to do, things to process, conversations, stories, podcasts, books, lighting, smells, all of it. Once that bucket gets filled up, we're then in overload. And that's when the brain starts to shut down and we become symptomatic, meltdown, anxious, snappy, angry. Um, so it's really about knowing your own bucket and knowing what your capacity is, and knowing also how to integrate, digest, and reduce that loading upon the bucket. We're all different, right? So some people will have a very small little bucket of capacity and they're overflowing easily, quickly all the time. And other people will seem to have this huge capacity, huge bucket, and just nothing phases them. It's just, they can just take it all in and go, 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 and barely sleep. We're all different. So knowing yourself is the key to your well-being. But what you're saying really does make sense. So I would really urge you to notice how you moderate and pace yourself, and notice how you digest and integrate so you can keep replenishing that spaciousness in your bucket. To learn more, visit seekingbalance.com.au. The Rocksteady program or Sensing Ground program both have beautiful, supportive options for you to look into if you're seeking more support and community. So it's a bye for now.